Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. I wanted to do a special report on the ongoing situation taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia and the ongoing civil war that is taking place. It would appear that there are currently emergency communiques coming out of the Ethiopian Federal Government Foreign Ministry. They are reaching out to certain elements within the U.S. State Department about the current situation and what is occurring inside of the Amhara region and the situation, its current situation with the Tigrayan Defense Forces. It would appear that the situation on the battlefield has become so dire for the federal forces, the Ethiopian, the Abiy loyalist federal forces, that outreach towards the United States is now commencing. And there are significant fears that some of the battlefield defeats suffered by the Abiy loyalists and the Amhara regional militias may be in fact unreversible, and things could further deteriorate. And we're seeing signs of additional desperation with additional airstrikes within the vicinity of Mekelle and possibly even other areas inside of the Tigray region. We are also watching very closely the border area between Eritrea and the Tigray region. There continues to be a buildup of forces, of Eritrean forces within this area, and thought is that if the situation becomes so desperate, is it possible we could see a possible reinvasion of the Tigray region by Eritrean army forces? Now, again, the Eritrean army pulled out of the Tigray region. It had suffered casualties. It had suffered defeats. It made no real progress in its occupation of the Tigray region, and really just simply left with casualties and debt for the most part, with the exception of the ongoing occupation of western Tigray. Now, with that being said, we still do not believe there will be a large-scale general offensive by the Eritrean military. We also believe that the Tigray region, the Tigray army, is in a much better position to defend itself, given the massive mobilization that has taken place, than what occurred several months ago, especially in late 2020. However, the fighting that is going on just north of Dessie, the seizure of Wageltena has been a very heavy defeat for the federal forces. Not only that, there has been multiple defeats that have taken place, and the true knowledge of the amount of casualties that have taken place by these federal forces has really not been released to the general public for consumption. The Tigrayan Defense Forces are aware of the casualties that have taken place. However, generally speaking, folks living inside of Addis Ababa, also known as Finfine, are really unaware of the tragedy that has occurred in terms of the defeat of Ethiopian Federal Forces, Amhara regional forces within the vicinity north of Dessie, in that catastrophic failure of an offensive that was attempted around 8 days ago. Again, we are continuing to see massive amounts of Ethiopian Federal and Amhara forces being taken as prisoners of war. We continue to hear reports about devastating losses, especially in equipment and some of the top tier units that were still remaining from after its initial defeat in the Tenbian and the Tigray region. But right now, it would appear that what you would call the Ethiopian government, the Prosperity Party, the Abiy loyalists are in a period of desperation right now, probably more so than at any point in the conflict. And again, we continue to hear chatter, intel, assessments of outreach that is going on because the situation may be unrepairable for the forces of the Abiy loyalists and the Amhara regional militias. Is it possible that we could continue to see large amounts of manpower being thrown into the combat zone and attempt to repair these setbacks? Yes, possibly. Could we see a reverse at some point? I would say right now it's unlikely. I do think there's still some capacity to defend Kombolcha and Dese, but that is eroding very quickly. The biggest issue right now is really the morale and continuity of command. It is really at an all-time low right now, and when I mean the Ethiopian Federal Forces have really suffered a significant setback, and are continuing to do so. We are understanding that Tigray forces are moving rapidly in some areas, and there has been some fairly significant breakthrough that is allowing said speed of advance that is taking place. But we will continue to monitor the situation and report on what is going on. But again, fairly significant defeats on the part of the Ethiopian Federal Forces, and now outreach by the Foreign Ministry of Ethiopia, the Prosperity Party, possibly to look to end the conflict in some way. Please understand there is not unity of command, so one side may be thinking something else while one side is doing something completely different. So you may have elements within the Prosperity Party, within the Ethiopian federal government, still desiring to fight, elements of the Amhara region still desiring to fight, but there are obviously elements that look to want to capitulate at this point. So we will continue to monitor the situation and report. Have a great day, everybody.